You already know you got to start it out with the bomb. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know why. Pause.
Cruise Control Radio in the motherfucking building for argument's sake, motherfuckers. Big things happening.
A lot of things
My
happening.
name is Cruz in the building.
I go by Swayze, the kid.
Hi, Mars Reborn.
Mars Reborn.
No, Reborn. Because I was.
That's why I said Reborn.
Oh, I didn't hit a re in front of that.
Mars Born, that would be mad queer.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
You're telling me, but
I probably can't use that word.
why not?
I don't know. I feel like as part of the LGBs.
I mean,
It
yeah,
is.
but you didn't. I don't really think you offended anyone.
By calling someone queer.
Yes, that's a whole. Let's not go there.
Let's not get into that.
Hey.
Let's not get into that.
Yes, they get enough.
What we talking about, Mars?
Oh man. Okay, so I have a weird mindset. This ain't that weird, but I just be thinking of shit. And in my time thinking, so I was playing GTA 5, and randomly, because I got to give you out a backstory before we really get into this. I was playing GTA 5, and randomly, it gets to that mission to where this nigga Michael's son Jimmy takes him to the burger shop. They get the weed, and they get the like whatever the milkshake is, and then Mike ends up having like this whole little acid episode. Blah blah blah. Gets abducted by aliens and flies out of the sky. Blah blah blah. Anywho, randomly in my mind, the word doppelganger just popped into my mind. Right?
Okay.
I brushed it off because I was like, man, doppelganger. I don't know why that popped up. Has nothing to do with anything.
Mm-hmm.
What I led y'all up to. I just had to tell you all what I was doing when it popped in my head.
Okay. GTA.
Don't ask me why. It popped in my head. I started thinking about it, and I was like, all right, brush it off the first time. Then like 2 hours later, doppelganger. I'm like, why the fuck do I keep thinking about doppelgangers? So it leads me to ask the question, number one, because I got many questions and I have theories. So I wrote this shit down so I wouldn't forget it because I knew I was going to forget because I had a whole bunch of thoughts. One, does everybody know what a doppelganger is?
Yeah.
No,
You don't know what a
You don't know
doppelganger
what a
is?
doppelganger
don't care enough. Not saying not. I don't care right now. Didn't care enough previously when I heard the term. It didn't entice me.
It's a motherfucker that's your like twin type
Okay.
shit.
It's a what?
It's
So-
like somebody that looks exactly like you.
Like the twin that when they say everybody has a twin.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So
Doppelganger.
yeah, I guess I do.
Okay. So for the people that's watching, if y'all don't know what a doppelganger is, I wrote down the definitions so
Oh,
everybody
shit.
can know
All right, go
what the
ahead.
hell's going on. And it's pretty, I mean, you just said it, Jace, but it's an apparition or double of a living person. And living person is a key word in that whole sentence. So, and then I had to go look up what apparition was, which I knew what apparition was, but I wanted to see what the actual definition of apparition was. So apparition is a ghost or ghost-like image of a person. All right? No, so no, follow me. Just follow me here because now my mind starts going and it just starts rolling. I'm like, all right, so I don't know why they would have apparition in there and then apparition meaning ghost and then, just shit like that. So my mind just started going. So originally, the word doppelganger is a type of ghost. The word doppelganger was first used in a novel called Siebenkus, I believe. It's a German romantic novel written by a German novelist named...
Shout out to the Germans.
Yo, look, the word sounds German now that I know that it's
They
German.
do. Doppelganger.
So, yeah, but his name was Jean Paul, and he used it first, I think it was like 1796. Yeah, that's crazy. So
Somebody got some lit ass nigga. Go ahead, Tony Paul.
no, not Sean Paul, nigga. It's Jean.
The same shit.
Jean
Sean.
Paul with a J. All right. So then, doppelganger is the German word meaning double walker, which means double is doppel in German, and ganger is walker in German. So with all that, hold on, let me turn to the second page because this.
Niggas is getting a whole class right now.
Look, man. If I got to think about it, y'all got to think about it. No, you don't have to like keep thinking about it. But if I got to think about it for this current moment, like you're gonna think about it for
Go
this current
ahead.
moment.
What about doppelgangers?
So then, like they have theories on doppelgangers, and some of the theories are that it's different egos of yourself manifested into the world. So people believe that everyone has at least 7 doppelgangers. out in the world, which made my mind wonder, because if people believe that there's 7 doppelgangers in the world, and people believe that it's manifested out of your ego, and then with there being 7 chakras, it's like each of the chakras is a person.
Like an ego of like.
Yeah, so like you will have a root chakra version of yourself, and then a sacral chakra and throat chakra version, like somebody who's very, very good at communication, or somebody who's like really, really loving, which is the heart chakra, somebody who's like really, really intelligent, which is the crown chakra, shit like that. So my thing is, if everybody has about, because hold on, let me adjust that because it's kind of loud.
No. I was checking something else.
But if everyone has at least 7 doppelgangers, right? And it made me believe, or not believe, it made me start to think, what if there's not that many people on Earth, bro? And like most of the people we see is just fucking doppelgangers of people.
So then, I mean, I know I've seen more than 7 people. Oh, you saying like seven personalities of just one person?
Yeah, so like what if the majority of the population on this Earth is not fucking real people? Like I know the whole NPC thing is a trend.
You see that girl doing that?
Yeah, I know that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know that's a trend theory of people, of saying people are NPCs, because I know there's some people that really can't, they don't have like a conscience or a voice in their head. Like,
just stupid.
I
What
mean,
the fuck is y'all doing? Stupid.
I have conversations with myself all the time, so it's hard for me to imagine somebody not having a voice up
Right,
here saying
not
some
thinking.
shit. So I don't know how that works.
No, it's I know a couple people like that.
I have to meet them because I have to have a conversation with them. I just have to see what's going on. I really don't know where I am going with this whole theory. The whole thing is I thought about it, and then I started doing some digging because I want to see what other people think, because I know I'm not the only one that thought about this, because I looked up most of this shit and it was on a website, and then people, have went to it. But
And that's something we was talking about before, right? With like when we see a comment and like something on a picture on Instagram, and then you go in the comment and see everybody else is like thinking the same thing.
yeah, that was the common sense shit we was talking about, right?
Yeah,
I
so
believe.
that's like that. Like you thought like you was the only person like thinking, then you see there's a whole website of other people thinking the same
Yeah,
shit.
no, I already knew I wasn't the only person to think this in the world. I might be.
But what's your question?
He said he didn't know where he's going with it.
And that's why. I did
Ask a question.
What's the question?
I said one. Okay, no. Let me ask the other question. Have you? Well, since you don't know what a doppelganger is,
No, I
Well,
do
no,
now.
you gave him a whole course.
And then once I tied 2 and 2 together, I just didn't know the terminology.
Have you ever seen a doppelganger of like yourself?
My cousin. But
But it can't be your cousin.
No,
Like,
no,
of course
no.
your family
I'm
gonna
just
look like you.
Well, no. This was actually a distant cousin that didn't carry. So if I get my characteristics from my father, and this person is a distant cousin on my mother's side,
yeah.
and then the person that he looks like isn't connected to the person that's connected to my mother, so we basically both on the same spectrum, looking alike. That's what my family was like. Oh, this is your twin or whatever. To be honest, I don't think there are. It's kind of funny that we're having this conversation, because my coworker at the desk, there's a guy in here that is quote unquote his doppelganger, and it wasn't just me or like other people. It was like everybody kept coming to the desk and was saying that. But I also think he has a very generalized lifestyle. Mm-hmm. I think he's a very general person. I think he's a very non-interesting person. The person that I thought looked like him was the only reason why he was interesting is because I thought it was the other non-interesting person.
So the one person was like, they had 2 different personalities, but looked exactly the
No,
same.
to my understanding, I don't even know this person's personality, but he's just as interesting as you are if I didn't know yours. The only reason why I'm even acknowledging him is because I know
He has a
you,
familiar face.
a familiar face. But if I would have looked at both of y'all, I would have just been like,
That's great, because all the time, like throughout my like adult life, people would always say I look like somebody, what's his name, Shamit, the basketball player. What's his name?
no, nigga, French
Shit.
Montana.
No,
but now people
It's a
always
lot
gonna-
of people, like,
but people
people-
always gonna try to make you to a celebrity.
Yeah,
that's
no.
different.
somebody that they always see.
But that's different. That's different. Like
And even when I'm out, like when I used to work at the job with him, like there would be people coming to me like, I know you. Like it's like
Yeah.
said, aren't
From my
you
face.
aren't you this person's
I even in
just
my
did it
head,
to me when I
you
walked
have
in
a
it.
you have a familiar face.
everybody says I got a familiar face, but
But
I
it's
don't
just,
know.
It's just attributes. But but that's because and that's what I keep trying to like even tell like my wife, like we're watching like this show about like vets and stuff, right? And it's gonna seem kind of obscure, but I'll try to bring it back together.
Like veterans,
like veterinarians, right? And she's like seeing like, oh, I didn't know dogs like they can have allergic reactions or they get seizures. And then it's like, but she's in a medical profession, and it's like the same medicine they're using on humans or the same medicine they're using on animals. It's just this is her first introduction to it. And so I say that to say like, there's a lot of people that forget that humans are still animals. And if you go to a goat farm, you can go to a goat farm and it be, say you have 4 different sections, right? And they could mix all the goats up, and then you could even categorize and put all these goats in 4 different of the same, but they're all still goats, but you're categorizing them. And that goat might look the exact same, but have a totally different lineage, a totally different
and that's
history.
just like humans too.
We're animals. That's what.
It's like, oh, it's a white human, a black human, but it's like it's still
It's
humans.
still only so much you can pull from, and the fact that we're so mixed now, there's still so much. So I feel like the doppelganger shit, like when I think about that, it's just people who like people who always say they want to clone somebody, right? Or like the government's cloning. Why would the government want to clone your broke ass? Like I always think about that about me.
You know what's crazy?
Why would the government want to clone me? If I think they want to kill me, and I think if I think I'm the smartest motherfucker in the world, and I'm here to destroy the
Why would they be
government,
coming for me?
why would you create another me?
So my thing, so I just got a new TV. It's like a Roku TV. You know this shit. So Ty was like, yo, you know what they saying about Roku TVs? I was like, what? She was like that they could watch you through the TV. I was like, I don't give a fuck. What they gonna get?
And then just start.
They gonna see
What
me
they gonna get?
slapping. Like what? I don't care.
It's a
watch me. Go ahead.
If they are watching me, that lets me know that I'm confirmed in the shit. Now I know why we're trying to figure out another stimulus package for Ukraine. Cause y'all looking for me. Y'all ain't looking for this money.
Right.
Y'all looking for the nigga with no money.
Right. What you
like-
gonna get out of me from the Roku?
I don't even understand why they be looking for half the shit they look for. That's like
Well,
that just draws me to like cops like sitting on the side of the road and trying to catch somebody speeding. Like nigga, there's like crazy
You
shit
waiting
going on
for
out here.
people to fuck
but
up.
people are not. But that's the thing. People are not. When I'm talking about the consumers, cops are supposed to look out for shit. But a person having an ideology, they've never been in a CIA. They've never been in the FBI. They've never. They watch YouTube videos and they talk to a lot of other people. And even if you watch the people on YouTube, they can never. They can say, "Oh, I was in here." Why? My question is always why. Okay, they cloned Jamie Foxx. Why?
What is the?
what is
That's
the
what
point?
they
What would
say
be the
about-
fucking point?
They saying they clone Kanye, but I don't think they clone him. I think they got a lookalike, and Kanye. Really
They
got
cloned
killed.
Gucci, the person that they could have killed and made more money off of.
Nah, Gucci. That's really Gucci.
But no, but that was
Oh,
that
but yeah,
was
but
the
that's
first
the
cloning.
thing.
That
They
was
said
like
they did Kodak too. They cloned
Why?
Kodak.
Why are we cloning more ignorant niggas? So we're not gonna clone Albert Einsteins. We're only gonna clone
Right.
niggas that we gotta question if they're on fentanyl every other week,
That's
No,
crazy.
knowing that he's on probation, so he should be clean.
I have a question.
We're gonna question the nigga. Should we know if you should be sober on the worst drug that could potentially kill you?
Bro,
that's the
that's
nigga that the
hilarious.
government's gonna spend thousands
that's
and hundred thousands of
that's-
clone.
why-
Why are we
That is-
cloning
that-
ignorant niggas?
That's a fact though.
We're gonna clone the immigrant. I mean, he's Haitian, but the potential immigrant. Like,
Yeah.
we're trying to get rid of immigrants, but we're gonna clone them. That doesn't make
Yeah.
fucking
Nah,
sense.
it don't make sense.
We're trying to get rid of niggas, but we're gonna clone them. No,
What's your
nigga.
question?
If they're not cloning Bill Gates or
on, 'cause I wrote it down. Hold on.
if Elon Musk hasn't cloned himself. If Elon Musk has not cloned himself to make sure that all the meetings that he has to get attended and he can go out and do whatever the fuck and fuck as many bitches and have as many 12 more, 20 more kids, I'm pretty sure he's going to take his money and try to clone his dick before he tries to clone my ass.
His dick. That's crazy. Cloning a dick is wild.
I mean, it would normally
Come with the body.
Yeah.
Okay.
False.
I didn't know.
But I say that metaphorically, like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's going to try to clone his legacy than to clone my ass. Like, what you going to get off of me?
Yeah. No, that's a fact.
Another ass to beat, another motherfucker to whip. Like,
Yeah. It don't.
But
make sense.
I can probably program your conscience or something to.
according to your statistics, you're going to get another Section 8 candidate. Another. Why would you clone?
But they can move you up.
Why would you be a Republican saying that we need to cut these benefits off and then create more motherfuckers who need those benefits?
You know what I just noticed is that
the circle going.
the people that's fucking up the actual like
The circle that you're asking to be, that you're
Community.
asking to stop.
the people that's fucking up the community is actually the motherfucking Democrats.
Yeah, that's my point. The ones that keep the circle going.
And in the hood, we taught to believe that it's the Republicans that's
That's why I never voted. That's why I never voted and never will.
I mean, to me, they all one and the same. So they don't.
Yeah,
They're
all on the
not.
same
They're
mission,
really
no.
we can't-
Republicans really just want everybody to be rich.
in essence.
Democrats
They-
need people to be broke.
This is really what it is. This is really what it is. This is really what it comes down to. It's not the Democrats want everybody to be rich. Or the Republicans want everybody rich. The Republicans want everybody to work in the way in which they feel like working, the definition of working, which is why it changes, because these motherfuckers aren't physically working, but they're mentally working. They're taking on stresses and shit. Like niggas be talking about so much shit, right? Like niggas be, I want to do this right. Like they'll do a lot of physical work, do a lot of physical labor, right? And then you'll talk about politics. I ain't got time to talk about that shit. That's why I don't need you in the in Congress. I need you. You got time to get these tires on my car or then okay, we got time for that. So I don't need you over here. Now a motherfucker over here that is now making government laws. This motherfucker, I don't got time to get my hands dirty. So I don't need you working on my car. Because you're gonna fuck
Everybody
around, I'll be
gotta
driving on the
roll.
road, and because you might have chipped a nail, and you let me hurry get this shit done. Now my brake line's fucked up, and I'm cruising. So everybody has a certain place, and everybody has to understand it. The main thing you can really think about it is Republicans are about, it's a pot. America is a pot. Republicans are, don't take more from the motherfuckers who putting in. I can't pour in 3 gallons and then give away 2 gallons and then have to keep 2 gallons for myself to make the other 3. Democrats are, nobody's giving any gallons. Just let's take from the motherfuckers that are working and getting 3 gallons. And let's just say that because we label them rich. Well, every rich person wasn't always rich. And every broke person wasn't always broke.
I don't
Well,
believe that.
my
I know a
question-
lot of motherfuckers that been broke from birth.
And there's a lot of motherfuckers that were rich that are purposely being broke. There's a lot of motherfuckers that were rich that got trust funds and fucked it
fact
off
is
and
that
snorted
nobody-
cocaine off of
fact is
stripper
that
booties.
nobody is happy with their life. Well, I'm saying like people that aren't like spiritually connected, they're just not happy with their life.
I'm gonna piggyback.
Well, you want to
off
know
that.
what?
Go ahead.
If we didn't have to like work for money, currency, whatever, blah 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 blah, do y'all think any of these shit that people do, like people say I have a dream of being like a doctor or a lawyer or blah blah blah.
I mean,
I
there would
can't
still
speak.
be
Ooh, y'all gonna? I'll
there
shut
would
this
still
channel
be a
down.
trade of
Really?
service though.
I'm just saying, but like, would niggas really be caring about what would you
Nah,
really
it
do?
wouldn't be,
So I'm gonna ask the
No
question, but I
one
don't.
ever needed
I'm gonna ask the
like
question off of that, but I don't want anybody to answer. I'm gonna just ask it. I'm gonna ask it. Corey Swayze is gonna ask it. Don't nobody answer. Just move on to the next thing. So is communism really bad?
All right,
So emotion.
Answer that question. Just keep moving.
So just to piggyback off what you was talking about earlier with the animals and shit, because y'all was watching a veterinarian show, and we was talking about doppelgangers at some point. I don't even know where I was going with doppelgangers, but that was just a thought. I really just wanted to see what y'all thought about that. But as far as animals go, do y'all think animals see each other as like, because you know how you got dogs, but they have different breeds of dogs. Do you think they see different breeds of dogs, or they just see a dog as a dog?
I'm sure they just see a dog as a dog, and that's
So
our
why the
problem as humans.
You know
We
what I'm
don't
saying? So why
see.
the fuck we can't just do that?
No, we do too. You do. Your child's mother is black.
Well, yeah, I'm saying, but like the
the generalized.
the majority of
What could be?
people,
There's no different.
well, you know what people we talking about.
I'm what the ones that's not people. So, anyways,
doppelgangers.
so
The dops.
No,
We
so
gonna
like
call them the
dopies.
dops.
for example, right now,
Doppy.
I think she's probably about like 20, 25 pound French bulldog, and she hasn't had her first heat yet.
How do you know she's French?
I don't. I just know that's her breed name, and she's a French bulldog.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, do you think dogs see shit like that? Oh, you French?
We just
Well,
humans.
that's
we just make
actually
shit up.
crazy about French bulldogs. They're actually originated in more England.
Yeah.
But the thing about French bulldog is that you got to go to the root, and the bulldog, the formality would be English bulldog, which would be from the root. That's not my point. It's still a dog. My point is my dog, my French bulldog is not going out there like she'll go out there, and I got stray cats, and there's like 4 or 5, and she won't even acknowledge them, but she will acknowledge any dog. My main point was that when she gets in the house, like my pit bull is 80 pounds. If based off even anatomy and breeding habits, if he was to breed with her, he will kill her. She don't care about none of that. And not only that, like I know in the pit, because he's a pit bull, in the pit bull community, he would be very promised. Like he could pretty much get any bitch he wanted. This little bitch is the first nigga that she's seen. Big dog, he's 4 or 5 years older than her. Like I can see it. Then in a human form.
I love him.
No, literally. Like I have to like he don't say nothing. He just like whatever. But she just can't keep her butt out his face, not knowing that if he does anything with it, he will actually kill you.
You want to know how I know French bulldogs are French? because the way they be walking sometimes, and you know they be having they like they face up and shit, like be all
Hey,
Like
still
mad
clear,
prissy.
steer clear, still clear. No, steer clear.
So why I got a
My bitch
question.
is savage, bro. She is savage.
I got a question for y'all. Why is it a problem that, for men to be able to express themselves? Like, why is it like, oh, you being a bitch, or oh, you supposed to be a man, like when a man is expressing themselves?
I'll tell you why I figured out. I just figured out just like lately. Hold on, let me get this off. I figured out why lately.
Hold on, before you get that off, I just want to let y'all know, ladies, y'all be wondering what the fellas be talking about when we be with the crew. This shit. this.
The great thing is about it, well, we're in 2023. Bitch ain't really got to worry about what's niggas on mine, because all I got to do is go on the internet. And it might not be the exact thing that's on niggas' minds, but it's relative.
Right.
But the crazy thing is we're relative. We're in 2023 really having barbershop conversations from like the 90s. That's why a lot of old heads motherfuckers are enjoying podcasting, because they get to actually feel like they're entertaining based off of old ass conversations these motherfuckers was having. They was playing spades, smoking Newports. My question,
it was a Newport for sure.
My question, my answer to that is, what I'm gonna understand is, and it depends on the type of woman. I know my mom she wasn't a don't express your feelings, but she did say, because she was a single mother, 2 boys, so it wasn't a boy and a girl. She would say, with this boy, which is me, you wear your heart on your sleeve. I gotta watch you. You gotta watch your heart. My brother, she's like, whatever. Like he's kind of zero. He don't give. And that came down to, and this is where I've kind of learned. It's not that she was protecting me from the fact that, or saying like I can express myself. It's that the bitches that you gonna fuck with, them young bitches at that age, because I was a young bitch at that age, I'll hear you because you my son. I wasn't trying to hear your daddy. I wasn't trying to hear that nigga. Like it's, and I don't think they even know that that's what they're thinking. I think it's more of like a damn near third conscious, not even like subconscious. I think it's something that it's like, women aren't taught to hear a nigga. So why, as a woman, would you teach your son to be taught to be heard? You're setting him up for failure, which my mom didn't do.
Because nobody cares.
Yeah, she was like, I don't want you to be cold-hearted. Like, I'm not like most niggas like, oh, I can't, I cry, I do whatever. But what makes it harder for me is that I'm like, well, why is this bitch like, they love the sensitivity until they get to a point where they don't know how, why are you yelling at me? Why are you frustrated? Why are you this? And then now I go back into, oh, I'm going to shut down. And then when you shut down, it's like, well, shit, what's on your head? What's going on? Or they start trying to speak for you. So then I got to be like, do I talk? Or women aren't just trained. So it's 2 things happening at the same time. Women are not being trained to understand a man at the same time that women are not being trained to express themselves. Now, at the same time, we have an imbalance because women are taught to understand women who are not taught to understand themselves. They're just taught to be able to just have a pussy, and then a man will understand you.
Now, are you saying women aren't taught like in this day and age, or are you talking about just like in general? Because
I would say in general, because even back in the day, they weren't taught. It was just, you're a woman, shut up, because he pays the bills. You still weren't taught to, if the man, when that man was being that thing, he could beat your ass and just go ham. He'd have to express himself, because it was like, I don't have to express myself. So we're going from one extreme to the other.
So that
on a male spectrum.
Honestly,
women get the same
if we can,
cadence.
If we can get deep rooted with that sounds like that's just leftover trauma from slave times, and then basically
everything's rooted from slave.
Yeah, so basically them being in the household and them like abusing their wife because they wanted their wives to be submissive and listen to their orders and shit like that.
But then we cheat we could take it to that, but then I always go further because we cheat ourselves when we talk about.
And I'm not making an excuse for them.
No, yeah. Well, I say we cheat ourselves based on the fact that it's like slave times. Well, there were societies that were matriarch. So there were societies in African communities that where women were like, they played the nigga role, like they played the man role. And then there were societies where men played the traditional men role. Slavery in regards to our intelligence has made us think one or the other, when I think we need to realize that there was no definitive. I think there was always variation. I think there was always open interpretation. I think that the tribe that you were in, God, I would take a spiritual God, purposed you to be in that tribe based on what your tribe's values and everything are. I think everything got fucked up when they just started taking niggas from tribe to tribe to tribe and then started putting their values on it. And now we got niggas that look alike with a lot of different DNA, like deep-rooted DNA ancestral concepts that now niggas are arguing each other because we look alike, but we're not supposed to think alike anyway.
That brings it back to like a pit bull mentality and a French bulldog mentality.
Or even then, you have a American Staffordshire Terrier. You have a You have a pit bull terrier. Like even in a pit bull's a mutt regardless. But even if you got American terrier, you got Boston terrier, you got all these different ones. So these motherfuckers are still terriers
from the same
shit.
terrier family.
But they're the way they might. It's just different.
I think is like different.
But they're
how
not
they
a
react
cat.
to things.
We don't have to argue if they're a fucking cat. We don't have to argue if they're a mouse. They're not a pussy. We don't have to make them a pussy if they're not a pussy.
But humans can do that, right?
Well, that's the thing is that's what we're supposed to be doing. And I think humans need to stop trying to get everybody on equal. We're not all created equal. A pit bull, a Maltese is not supposed to overpower a 150-pound Great Dane. They're still dogs.
I do have
That's
a
like
question.
men competing in women's sports.
I do have a question for that, but that we don't have enough time.
Well, I
to
say
get
that's
into
just
that
like
because
just white people, black people. Like I think I'm gonna just kind of be 100. I feel like white people are good at governance and good at not using their hands and not being physical. I think niggas are good with physical shit, whether that be sports or whether it be mechanical work. And I feel like Hispanics are the same as well. But I also feel like even with Hispanics, they have more of like a more of a tribal effect to it, and I feel like Asians kind of have more of they're closer to like having more of a governance and business effect. They can get their hands dirty, but they can it's just
still be business
savvy. I feel like the only thing that's lacking in why niggas have so many questions, and if you pay attention, niggas are only asking questions about business and ethics. And the thing with niggas is, when it comes to business, good business doesn't have good ethics. And every nigga is taught to have good ethics based upon the fact that we're supposed to have good ethics because we're supposed to. It's a emasculating thing.
So what's something we could tell a woman, right? What's something we could tell a woman to be like? Because it's like they always want us to communicate, but when we communicate, it's like, oh, okay. It's like, so if I communicate, it's like whatever I say really don't matter. So why would you want me to say it?
You can just keep. You can keep. We're in a pivotal phase. We're in an evolution. So there is no right now, and this is what our generation needs to understand, especially if you're 30, if you're like 25 to I want to say like 35, you are in a pivotal age of where old people are going to die, and things that are trying to be fought and bound down now are going to die within the next 10 to 15 years. And then everybody's going to look to us for answers that we don't have. And we're gonna have the answers. So we can it's gonna be either good or bad. It's really based on us. So if we're asking questions based off of old philosophies, either shut the fuck up and bring in new philosophies and we continue a slow evolution, or in this midst of time that we have in all this confusion and where old folks don't know what they're doing, kids actually know what they're doing, but they're knowing what they're doing based off of us and watching us kind of figuring it out.
Yeah.
Then we might as well need to hurry up and start paying attention more to ourselves and getting an understanding of ourselves and deteriorating from the old shit, because that's what these young kids are already familiar with. That's what their foundation is set upon, and that's what they're going to look at to build their foundation set upon based off of shit that we were just figuring out.
And I want to end the show just with that, because that they need to marinate. They need to think about that, because that's deep. They really do. Like, the people need to think about that. I want to end it there. I don't
Take your time. Slow down the frequency.
I want to ask you though, real quick. What's something that you could tell, like, if it's like women out there, what's something you could be like, all right, like, should we communicate our feelings, or is it a problem that we like?
We can't tell
me.
Not what like what.
We can tell our daughters. We can tell our daughters. What would you tell your daughter?
Yeah, there we go.
You want to know what's crazy? Because that was exactly the question I was going to ask y'all.
Yeah, because we can't. They already in their
They're
ways.
women,
But me personally, I'm going to communicate my feelings regardless if she wants to hear them or not. She's going to know them, and then I will know what to do after that. If you either receive them or you don't, I'll know what to do after that. So either way, you're going to hear my feelings on whatever I feel. Mm-hmm. My daughter, I was actually going to ask y'all that, because he was talking about the women not being raised to listen to man, and I'm not saying that she has to. I'm just saying, how do I get her in a position to where she will at least keep her mind and ears open?
I'm not letting my daughter, when I have a daughter, she's not around no basic ass bitches who think niggas do this. She's not around no basic ass niggas who think bitches do this. And she's gonna be around somebody. Basically, you don't have to listen to somebody, but you just need to, and vice versa. Because my son, I'm gonna teach him the same thing. Listen to women and just listen, and not hear, but listen. Don't be controlled. listen. You do whatever you want to do with it based off the time in your life.
Don't listen to response.
My bars are like a Glock that never misses. My mistress that like to blow kisses. That rubber grip turn loose lips to ghost whispers. Thought I was healed before, but Marsden got more sicker. I'm from a mental state that you should never go visit.